Absolutely massive result this weekend in world football, but specifically in the Premier League, as Liverpool beat Manchester City 2-0 at Anfield. And I'll be entirely honest with you, 2-0 does not give the full scope of how this game actually went. Liverpool were completely dominant from the first minute through 90 minutes. I, for one, am a little shocked based on how the game went. I know Manchester City have gone through a run of dodgy form, and Pep Guardiola looks completely and utterly stressed. But if I'm just being completely transparent, I thought Manchester City were going to show up a lot more than they did today. You know, historically, City and Liverpool games have always been extremely fun to watch, and I expected that to be the way today. While I expected Liverpool to win, I thought that Manchester City would put up a lot more of a fight. I think 2-0, if I'm being honest, is probably a good thing for Manchester City, because I think it could have been 3 or 4-0 very, very easily. Pep Guardiola looked rattled on the sidelines. He was throwing up the number 6 to Liverpool fans who were chanting at him that he'll be sacked in the morning. Look, I do think that this was a little cheeky from Pep Guardiola. I think he understands that his team is going through a little bit of, I wouldn't call it a transitional period, but a little bit of, you know, a rocky road currently. I believe he came out and said prior to the match that if Manchester City lost to Liverpool, going 11 points behind them, they would effectively be out of the Premier League title hunt. And I agree. I think Manchester City should look at this point into trying to finish top 4, which I think that they will if they turn it around, but based on their recent run of form in the games through November and now into December, it does not look good for them. And it's a lot more than just Rodri getting injured, I'll be honest with you. Phil Foden in particular, to me, has been very, very lackluster this season. You know, not too long ago, myself, I considered Phil Foden above the likes of Bukayo Saka and Cole Palmer, but based on his run of form this season, he has really, really taken a drop off since the level that we saw from him last season. I think it's concerning. I look at him as a young player and I wonder how much toll has he taken on the legs that he's not able to find the form. Erling Haaland, it didn't even appear as though he was in the game, if I'm being honest. And I think Guardiola's stressed. I thought a very, very weird decision from Guardiola was subbing Ortega on for Ederson, as well as leaving Guardiola on the bench. I looked at that and I said, oh, this is a guy who really doesn't know where the problem lies in his team, because I don't think that those two players are the reason for the results that Manchester City have been getting. In general, I think you look at that Manchester City team, there's a lot of aging players and inexperienced players who are not able to live up to the potential and live up to the standard that the club has had in the past couple of seasons. On the other side of the coin, Liverpool, fantastic. We looked like the best team in the world currently. I'll be quite honest. I think Liverpool are the best team on their current form. I'm also cognizant of the fact that Manchester City and Real Madrid, while we beat both of those two teams in succession, I also recognize that both of those teams have been struggling based on the standards that we usually have for those two clubs. But nevertheless, Arne Slot is coming alive. You can see the tactics that he plays. It's not the heavy metal style of football that we had under Jurgen Klopp, which can often leave us liable in transition. Rather, we play fantastic possession-based football. And I'll be honest, I think that our biggest concern is obviously the 3 players who need contract extensions or contract renewals, but as far as I'm concerned, just based on the form Liverpool have had this season, I think that we'll certainly win the Premier League and potentially even other trophies as well. I think that if you're a Liverpool fan like myself, it's a good time right now. If you're a Manchester City fan, it's not a good time, but you need to focus on other competitions as well as finishing top 4. And I do think there's a concern with the 115 charges against Manchester City and the drop-off of Pep Guardiola. But realistically, there's no time to stress currently. Only time will tell. And unfortunately, yes, you're out of the Premier League title hunt, but there are other things to look forward to. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you know every time I make a new video. I currently just hit 500 subscribers and I'm on track to 1,000, so please subscribe. I appreciate any and all support I could be given, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.